What's going on, troopers? Today we got my man Bajio here to talk all things fitness, troopers, Fit Nerd Academy, and his experience getting fit for the Republic. Bajio, thanks for taking the time, man.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's dial the clock back 12 months ago. I think it was about 12 months or about 10 months ago you got started, but 12 months ago, what was going on in your life, your health, your fitness, and kind of paint the picture about where you were, and then we'll talk about your journey to where you are today.
So, 12 months ago, I had I was just at a point where I had given up. My relationship was tanking, my health was tanking. I had no drive to really do anything that would benefit me or my significant other. It was just work. And then when I got home from work, I just did nothing but want to sit on the couch, play video games, just not want to do anything because I pictured work as this huge insurmountable thing, even though I was sedentary, sitting at a desk all day, not doing anything physical. Um, so, dealing with depression, dealing with pretty severe anxiety, eating upwards of 5 to 6,000 calories a day. 90% of that fast food because I was always on the road and I had zero. I knew it was bad as I'm shoving it into my mouth and as I'm ordering it, I'm looking at the little calorie numbers and just had no clue about what any of that meant. But yeah, so everything was pretty much falling apart. And then my relationship ended up, I lost that, got real dark for a couple months. And around Christmas time, that last week of December, I just found myself stuck on my phone like usual and happened to just for some reason find one of your ads on my feed, and I it just tapped into this experience that I had with some of my best friends growing up. When we were in high school, we were lifting every day. We turned our garage into a gym, and we were taking it really seriously. We were in the shape of our lives, and everything was, nerdy. We had like a Dragon Ball Z theme, and it kind of tapped into that and really brought that back for me. And that hit me in a huge way. And I signed up that night, and started on the cadet program. And I just immediately I don't know, it lit such a fire under my ass that I just kept it. Just I felt so good after these little workouts because it was just something compared to doing absolutely nothing. And I just wanted to keep doing it. I became addicted to it, which I haven't been addicted to anything fitness related or health related since those days back in like high school. So getting back into that, I started, when you would send directions over the app, I would log my weight. I went and bought a scale. I bought workout equipment. I bought protein. I followed your Anakin shopping video. I followed that to a T. I bought 90% of the stuff on there, um, and just started like I kind of winged it with the calorie deficit and that kind of stuff, and it ended up working out. Obviously I dropped a lot really quick, but that first after a week or two, I already had dropped almost 10, almost 15 pounds, and that psychologically just kind of influenced me to just go harder with it. And yeah, so that was, yeah, about a year ago. That's where it was.
So it sounds like you got to a point to where you're like, man, I'm aware that what I'm doing isn't what's best for me, but you're kind of stuck in that routine. And then seeing, and like a lot of people, they see this like goofy ad of me on the couch, and it just kind of struck that chord of, man, like that's kind of being me.
Yeah.
You started doing the 30-day challenge on YouTube, which is where a lot of people in the academy start
Yeah.
because one, it sounds fun, it's different. But then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I'm being really consistent with this. Whoa, I'm applying some of the nutrition stuff. And I think
Yeah.
at the end of your 30-day challenge, you're like 20 pounds down, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly. And so, what were some of the things that you noticed right away that maybe were like perspective shifts or mindset changes? It sounds like it was a pretty big flip 180, like December 30th into January. a lot of things change perspective wise. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. So one of the first things I did when I started kind of dialing in my nutrition based on the, nutrition toolkit and things you send, I went to these fast food restaurant websites, and all of them have the nutrition facts, and you can build your order that you normally get, and it gives you all the macros. And that's how I knew afterwards that I was eating almost 5,000, 6,000 calories a day. You know, in the morning on the way to work, I would go and get two sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffins and a Sprite and some hash browns. That was like 2,400 calories, just that. And I'd be hungry by the time I got to work. And for the last, I don't know, almost 10 months, I've been eating maybe maximum 2,500 calories for the entire day. Um, and I've tried intermittent fasting before, but I was never disciplined enough to maintain it. So that was a big thing of it too. But yeah, that the mentality of just like I can't believe I was doing this to myself every single day for years.
Mm,
And it was just a ticking time bomb, like if I hadn't seen that ad, maybe I would have figured something out. Maybe it would have been another try and fail, try and fail. And who knows what could be right now. But that perspective of I can't believe I was just abusing myself for so long, and putting on clothes that I can't scratch my head without my belly showing because it rides up, or, you know, sometimes not even being able to like see my feet because of my belly, and just being content with that, and then looking at that, feeling terrible about it, and then just ordering Domino's that night or something. Um, to just like I absolutely just despise that happened. So that in and of itself it repulses me to think that I was like that. So to think that I would ever let myself get back to that point after all the work I've put in, and also all the knowledge I have now of what that's been doing to me and how much better I feel eating certain things. It's completely life changing, and I just don't think it's ever going to. There's never a day in my life where I'm gonna look at any of those foods or any of those habits the same way ever again.
yeah, which is an amazing mental transformation that you've been able to get to a point to where now you realize not only how good you can feel, but I don't think people realize how bad they feel because they're so used to it.
Yeah,
I use this theory metaphor where in college or maybe a high school or when you had your first apartment, or whatever, you've probably got a carpet in your living room and it's super dirty. You spill beer and pizza on it, and another slice doesn't matter because it's already dirty. But
yeah,
as soon as you get a brand new carpet, one little thing of sauce, you're like, oh my gosh, like I noticed
yeah,
so much more. And that's what, I notice a lot of times with people where they're like, oh yeah, I eat, McDonald's, but I don't really notice how it impacts me until they step away from it for a few months and they're like, oh, it was
yeah.
impacting a lot. What would you say have been some of like the biggest changes, results, things that you've noticed physically, mentally, things that you weren't able to do that you're able to do now between, I guess it would be, yeah, January to now being October, so over the last 9 months?
So two of the biggest things that are, I guess, might sound weird to people who already can experience this, but being heavy most of my life, I've never like like laying down on my back, being able to feel my sternum, like being able to feel where my ribs connect, was a very jarring experience for me. So even to this day, like I still like when I'm laying on my back, I find myself just kind of like tracing my ribs and my sternum with my hands because like I've never felt that before. And then I've become obsessed with my legs, like just like how they look in shorts, how just like I get comments on them from dates and things like that. It's I've never been I've always been way too self-conscious to brag or gloat or show off any part of myself, maybe besides like my hair or something or a tattoo. But other than that, like part of my body that's just like, no, like why would I do that? Look at me, like but those are the two most like jarring things for me. But yeah, I mean just my wardrobe is completely different. Like I was borderline 4XL in December. I was wearing 3X's that would still ride up a little too high. So I had to kind of fold and buy a couple XL shirt, 4XL shirts, and those hurt to buy. It really hurt to see that many X's on something. Um, where now, this shirt that I'm wearing now is an XL and it's loose. Like I could probably snug fit into a large. I wouldn't do that, but
Eventually, you're on your way there.
exactly, yeah. So it's clothes that I used to have that I have just been in bags that I don't want to get rid of. Concert band shirts that I bought at concerts when I was in high school and stuff that I don't want to throw out. I can now wear those again. Um, I haven't been this light in I don't know in almost in over a decade, maybe even more. But yeah, that's I outgrew an entire belt, had to buy a new one. I'm buying clothes that are now smaller, but I'm finally confident wearing them because I have something to show off underneath them, so I can fit into these clothes a lot better. And it's worked wonders for confidence and everything.
Yeah,
But yeah,
dude,
that's definitely the best part of all of it is the new clothes.
that's amazing. And remind me what you were at weight wise in January, like when you started this all.
When I started this all, the last time I weighed myself in December, I was around 210 to 215.
310.
Um, 310, 315. Yeah.
I
I'm
was
trying
like,
to
I was
10
like, man, he's like this is a warped alternate universe. Uh, but yeah, okay.
three, yeah,
310,
310,
315. You
I think
broke
my first official check-in was only a week or so after, or a week and a half or so after, and it was 206 or something. So
306.
306 is gonna keep happening.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
you're thinking about the future. I like it.
yeah,
Okay, so yeah. So essentially, was that 315, 244? I'm not great at math, but
I'm
that's
at that's
70 pounds.
71 pounds.
Yeah, which uh I was doing this math for another member of the community who just hit 90 pounds down in the year.
Wow,
You'll probably get right around there at the year mark, but
well,
the
that's the goal.
the weight of a baby hippo is 60 to 110 pounds. So I was like,
Holy crap!
you lost a baby hippo. Where did it go? We
I
can't just
lost
do it.
a Mudang.
Yeah, a moot dang, exactly. So if anyone asks you like what you've been doing, be like, oh, just working on my mood dang.
That's
Um,
it. Just Mudanging.
mood danging. All jokes aside, what would you say like your three keys to success are for anyone watching who was, where you were a year ago, or maybe someone who's just starting their fitness journey? What are the three keys to success that give you the most like bang for your buck?
You gotta enjoy it. You gotta learn to love it. And it's hard for me to imagine someone sticking to it, experiencing these changes, and not falling in love with it. Um, and so I mean, I think one of them definitely is you have to love it. You have to enjoy it because you're gonna fail if you hate it and you're dreading your workout every single day, and you're a week in and you already have diet fatigue and you're getting tired of eating these things because you're being too strict and things like that. um you know and I think another one is just be realistic. This isn't something that is going to take a month. This isn't a 90-day challenge. Your 30-day challenges are not lose X amount in 30 days. It takes a certain amount of time to get you into those habits, and that's just kind of what it is. So I would say definitely, falling in love with it, and in essence, falling in love with yourself because you're doing this for you. After all, it's not. You always want to. I guess that would be a number three. Like doing it, making sure that that this is for you. You're not doing this to impress someone. You're not doing this because your parents are constantly like, "Oh, you're gaining too much weight. You're getting unhealthy. Like you gotta eat better. You gotta do this. You gotta do this." Don't do it to appease anybody. Do it because you need to do it, and everyone should be doing it to some degree. But if you have health issues, I had chest pains constantly. I was borderline hypertension. I had horrible sleep apnea. Those things have been erased completely. Um, it's just know that there are things that you have to do to better yourself, and just doing those things, I think all three of those will fall in line. You're going to fall in love with it because you're going to see what it's doing to you, the people around you.
How did you make it fun, or what elements? Was it the nerdy elements? Was it like what made it fun and
the,
different from all the other things you'd either done or tried?
the nerdy element definitely was the key for me, because I'm not even like this huge Star Wars fan. I grew up with it. It's always been a part of my life. I always played the video games, watched the movies, but I'm never really delved into a lot of it. But that's just the fact that it's this community of people that were just like me. These people that either need to lose weight or gain weight, may be unhealthy in certain aspects, but we can all kind of bond together over this mutual love for a fandom that we all have, and supporting each other. That's been huge, being on school and seeing everyone posting their wins, and I get inspired and I'm like, man, this person, seeing people's before and afters, like just all this like magic that people are feeling, in this community of people supporting, a random person, hey, this is my first day, I'm gonna try this, and then there's like 30 comments of everyone like, keep it up, you got this. Like, it's like I've never experienced that kind of support, by a community of just random people in anything I've ever been a part of.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's huge. I'm glad you had that experience too. I think it just kind of goes to show, the wolf travels fast, the pack travels far. And I remember playing some MMOs on my PC, back in college, and I'd always try and like solo grind
yeah,
like bosses, and I'd just get beat
no,
up because I didn't want to ask for help. And
you
then
can't Leroy Jenkins it. You can't do
yeah, exactly. And so as
it.
soon as I got, like my whole entire party, we were able to, knock out all these different missions. And I was like, oh, the wolf travels fast, the pack travels far. So um, glad that was your experience. And for anyone who is on the fence, whether it's about joining Fit Nerd Academy or even just like starting anything, like what would you say to someone who like wants to start but something's holding them back?
I mean, just follow your gut. If it feels right, which it did for me, if it feels welcoming and inviting, do it, because a lot of people getting started on trying to change their physical health, it's a very always a make or break thing. You're always iffy about it going in, but if you're not iffy about this, just do it. It potentially saved my life. It's not something that I'm ever going to forget. It's something I'm going to take with me forever. When I have kids, it's something I'm going to pass down, that these things I've learned in this program. And I've worked with personal trainers in the past. Um, I've tried diet plans, all these different things, and the way you have it set up is very just, you outline the basics, and then it's what works for you, and then you just edit it from there. And it takes work, it takes watching the videos, it takes taking notes and practicing it and trying different things, seeing how your body feels, but you eventually come to that place where you're just like, I know what works for me now. And if I never would have signed up after seeing that ad, I would still have no idea, and I'd still just be guessworking and potentially still be 300 plus pounds.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
dude, kudos to you, man, for clicking the button and going
of
on this journey. It's
course.
been awesome to be on it with you. And what's cool is like we're just getting started, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for you because you've got the right mindset, you've got the skills, you got the community. Sky's the limit for you, man, and couldn't be happier for you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate everything you've done and everything you got going on. And for everyone else, just, like I said, if you have a good feeling about it, just do it. Just sign up. If money's an issue, put away, save up. It's gonna be worth it. Just do it.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Thanks for the time
Of
and
course.
appreciate the hard work, the effort, and the support.
Yes, thank you.